I've been told by a fellow officer that you've been verbally abusive in a public place, which would be a Section 4A public order.
I have it all
offence.
recorded, officer.
That's fine. Please,
She's
officer.
lied to you. Now you threatened me with arrest, which has now made me have to give my details. So I will have to make a call to my solicitor.
Welcome to Cops Under Audit. Here, we break down real encounters between the public and the police, examining the law, the conduct, and the context so you understand your rights, their responsibilities, and where the line is drawn. Thanks to Now Yorkshire for allowing us to review and analyse this audit. Be sure to support his channel. His link is in the description below. In this episode, Now Yorkshire is flying his drone outside a police station when a sergeant decides to escalate the situation. She claims he swore at her, something the footage does not support. Instead of addressing him directly, she calls in other officers based on that claim. From that point on, the threat of arrest is used to obtain his details rather than deal with any actual offence. This turns into policing based on allegation, not evidence, and it only goes one way. It doesn't end with officers proving a point. It ends with Now Yorkshire taking the matter to court. Because when a situation starts with a false claim, the consequences are unavoidable.
For any particular purpose, is it a hobby, is it a research project, anything like that?
I don't know yet at the minute.
Okay.
Just sort of flying around, see what happens.
Right. I understand an officer's just tried to have a word with you on the way into the car park.
She sort of shouted at me in a plainclothes personal car, so I didn't have a clue who she was.
Apparently you've told her to pee off.
Did I?
That's what she said to us. If that's the case, that's not acceptable, is it?
Well, that's why we wear independent witnesses that never lie.
Right. What do you mean by that? Right, okay. Well, yeah, I've got mine on as well, so...
Well, thanks for letting me know.
Can I take your details just so we know what you're doing and you're recorded on our systems, and we've got the fact what you're doing, and to make sure you're not up to no good?
No, I'd rather not, if that's okay.
Okay. Why is that?
Because I haven't done anything wrong.
Well, I just need to make sure that you're not like sort of in line with any terrorist groups or anything like that you could be using for hostile reconnaissance or anything of that nature.
Do you suspect I'm a terrorist officer?
Well, I don't know until I speak to you. Do I? Until I take your details and check you through.
Is that what you do with everybody?
If you're being verbally abusive to people, then you have technically committed a public order offence for which I would require your details.
Okay.
They approach him already working from the claim that he swore at the sergeant, treating it as fact. Now Yorkshire doesn't get drawn into a back and forth. Instead, he points to his body-worn camera, showing exactly why independent recording matters. That immediately highlights the imbalance. One side has an allegation, the other has footage. Then the situation shifts to something more serious. When he refuses to give his details, officers suddenly suggest checking for links to terrorism. That isn't a genuine justification. It's a pressure tactic.
That's why I'm asking you for them as well.
Right.
So could I have your name and date of birth and address, please?
What, you think I've committed a public order offence?
Yeah, because an officer's just told me that you've sworn at her in the street.
Well, I need to get her to make that statement then, because she's lying.
Well, she's just told me as she's driven in that you've sworn at her.
Did she?
Yeah.
Right, well, I'll be making a complaint about her then.
That's absolutely
And if you
fine.
take my details, I will have to sue West Yorkshire Police.
That's not a problem. You feel free to do so. The reason I've explained the reasons why I'm asking you for your details.
What happens if I don't give my details?
Then you're potentially committing an offence.
Well, I will.
It's a lot easier if you do, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to give my details.
Okay.
I will if you tell me that I'll be arrested if I don't.
Well, potentially you may be. Yeah, it may make your arrest necessary under Section 24 of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act because your name and address can't be verified.
Right.
And I've got reasonable grounds to suspect that you've committed an offence.
What reasonable grounds is that?
But I've been told by a fellow officer that you've been verbally abusive in a public place, which would be a Section 4A public order.
I have it all
offence.
recorded, officer.
That's fine.
Do you want me to show you the recording?
Not at the moment, but I want.
Because I could show you the recording.
I want you to.
And then you would know.
Details, and I've explained it to you. You've asked me to explain it to you, and I've laid it out plain and simple.
This is where the logic completely falls apart. They claim a public order offence has taken place, not because of any clear behaviour, but simply because the sergeant says so. When Now Yorkshire asks what happens if he refuses to give his details, the response becomes circular. He's told he may be committing another offence, which is then used to justify a possible arrest. That isn't how the law works, it's just recycling threats. Referring to Section 24 of PACE only highlights the problem. Arrest must be necessary and based on evidence, not rank or convenience. Here, the only basis is a colleague's claim. even though footage is available that could quickly confirm the truth. The officers choose not to review it, and that matters. Avoiding evidence that could resolve the situation raises serious concerns about intent.
I don't think I have to give my details, officer.
You do.
I do.
You've been verbally abusive towards somebody.
I haven't though.
She's alleging that you have.
I haven't
As
though.
I said before, I've got reasonable grounds to suspect that you've committed a public order offence.
But I haven't.
Okay, listen to me. Because of that nature, that's why I require your details. And
Right.
as I've explained to you, if you don't give me your name and address, and can't verify who you are, it may make your arrest necessary in order to ascertain those details.
Will you arrest me if I don't?
I'm not saying I definitely will, but I'm saying it may make your arrest necessary.
Am I being detained right now?
At the moment, because I need your details.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm being detained.
potentially, if you don't give me your details, you may be arrested, is what
No,
I'm
no,
saying.
no, I just want to check if I'm being detained right
I don't
now.
understand why you can't just give me your details.
I'd rather not. That's
Right.
the point.
But I'm asking you to.
If I have to by law, then I will.
You do have to by law, yeah.
Okay, and what section of law says I
I'm
have
telling
to?
you that because you've committed an offence.
I haven't though.
I suspect that you have.
You suspect that I have?
I suspect that you have. I
Okay.
only need reasonable grounds to suspect. That's 2 to 3 out of 10 on the scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
I've got that reasonable suspicion.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah. Can you let me know that lady's name or collar number?
So she's a sergeant who,
Yeah.
who was off duty at the time, coming into work for whatever reason. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
because
but she's a police
she's lied
officer.
to you. Now you've
Right.
threatened me with arrest,
Yeah.
which has now made me have to give my details. So I will have to make a call to my solicitor.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, okay.
You go right ahead.
They corner him with a made-up justification. If we can't identify you, we'll arrest you to identify you. That's not how arrest powers are meant to work. What's really happening is that officers want his details and are using the threat of arrest to get them. Arrest cannot be used simply to overcome non-cooperation, and it certainly cannot be based on a weak or untested suspicion. At that point, the so-called reasonable grounds are no longer reasonable, they are just convenient. That's why the tactic works. Faced with the risk of being arrested on a circular justification, he gives his details to avoid escalation. Not because the law requires it, but because the pressure leaves him with no practical alternative. Compliance gained through the threat of misuse of power is not genuine consent, it's submission.
I can't believe she lied to you, officer. I have got it all recorded though, just
That's
so you
fine.
know.
You can, if you want to make a complaint.
Yeah, I will
about
be
it,
making a complaint
yeah,
straight away. Yeah,
that's not a
definitely,
problem.
definitely.
I haven't got
Is that
any
what she
issue with
actually said to you? I told her to pee off.
As I drove out of the gate, she was driving in and she said, "Will I have a word with it with you?"
Yeah.
Because she'd spoken to you and you told her to. I'm not going to say the full word.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
pee
yeah.
off. You understand what I mean by
I
that?
understand what you're saying, but she's lying to you. You know that, don't you?
Well, if she's lying to me, she's lying to me. If it's on your camera, then you've got grounds for a complaint.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm not lying
yeah.
to you. I can only go about.
You know, last time this happened, I got £1,000 for it. You know.
Right.
Yeah. That was at Humberside though.
What was that? What was that in relation to though?
Because someone said I was committing antisocial behaviour, so the officer unlawfully used Section 50 of the Police Reform Act to gain my details, just like you've unlawfully used Section 5 to gain my details.
Okay.
And then they offered me £1,000 for my trouble.
I haven't used Section 5.
Oh, did you use?
You've potentially committed an offence under Section 4A of the Public Order Act.
Oh, okay. Section 4A.
Yeah.
And that requires me to give my details.
It doesn't require you to give your details.
You just told me it did.
What I'm saying, no, you
The officer keeps relying on the word potentially, as in potentially an offence or potentially Section 4A. That word is doing all the work because there's no solid basis behind it. Section 4A isn't triggered by the possibility that someone might be offended. It requires clear intent and an actual effect, not speculation. What makes it worse is how the legal justification keeps shifting. One moment it's one power, then another, then something else entirely. That's not careful decision-making, it's confusion. If a real offence had been identified, the law being applied wouldn't keep shifting. And none of the powers mentioned suddenly give officers the right to demand personal details.
What I'm saying to you is because I've got reasonable grounds to suspect that you've committed an offence.
Yeah.
If you don't give me your details,
Yeah.
it may make your arrest necessary under Section 24 of PACE.
Oh, okay.
Because your name and address cannot be verified.
Right.
And I suspect that you've committed an offence.
Well, that's the full explanation. Thank you for
that's
that.
what I said to you the first time.
Well, I didn't get that explanation, so maybe you didn't explain it properly. Maybe I didn't understand.
Well, you understand it now, though.
I
don't
do,
you?
100%. Yeah, yes. I can't believe she lied to you, and she's a sergeant. She's going around lying to you guys. Do you want me to show you the video?
No.
Is it because you know that she's lying?
I don't know that she's lying.
I think you know. Okay. I think you know. I think you do know.
We're literally just going off what we've been told.
Yeah, what you've been told is a lie, though, is what I'm saying. I could show you the video now and show you that she's lying. What do you guys reckon? Your personal opinion.
My personal opinion doesn't matter. I don't work. My personal opinion has to stay at home when I come to work.
Well, use your detective skills then. What do you think?
This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Speaking to you.
Well, yeah, I could have showed you the video.
To find out your version of events.
No, what you're doing is getting my details unlawfully.
Okay. I'm not. I've already explained to you the reason why.
I could have showed you the video, and then you would have no reason to get my details.
If you're happy to show me the video, I'm happy to watch it. It's not a problem.
Well, there's no point now because you've already given my details.
This is where any claim of fairness falls apart. He repeatedly offers the simplest solution: watch the footage, but they refuse. One officer even admits she's relying only on what she's been told. That's not proper assessment, it's blind acceptance. His explanation isn't weighed against evidence, it's ignored. Instead, they choose hearsay over actual footage being offered in real time, protecting a version of events they don't want questioned. Then, only after taking his details, the video suddenly becomes relevant. That timing says everything. If the footage truly mattered, it would have been checked first. Watching it afterwards isn't investigation, it's damage control.
I might as well speak to my solicitor now and get my £1,000.
You've offered to show me the video, then that's fine.
Yeah, and you'll see that your Sarge is a liar.
Well, show me it if you want to show me it. I'm not bothered.
Am I being detained?
No, you're free to go. Thank you for giving me your details. Just be careful where you're flying it.
No, I won't.
Obviously, bear in mind that side of the gate and the fence is private property.
Oh no, I've already been over there.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go over again.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But bear in mind that you may be spoken to again by an officer if it's deemed that your drone's interfering with any police activities or anything like that.
All right, well, I've got permission to be here.
From
the Civil Aviation Authority.
Okay, have you got that in writing? Have you got anything on you can show me to confirm that?
Do I need to?
Well, I'm not just going to believe you, am I?
Well, I'm not just going to believe you that your sergeant's a liar.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to get drawn into this back and forth with you.
You've already been drawn into it.
I've spoken to you. I've ascertained what you're doing. As long as you're not interfering
what happened to the Section 4A?
That's fine. I'm not going to take any further action against it.
No further action?
Yeah.
Why? Because you know that she's a liar?
I'm going to give you words of advice.
No, I don't want your words of advice.
Right, well, I'm going to offer you
can stick your words of advice.
Right, I'm going to offer you them anyway.
No, I don't.
The moment they get his details, the situation ends immediately. No offence is pursued, no further action is taken, and all interest disappears. Everything mentioned before, public order, terrorism, and different legal powers, suddenly drops away. That isn't a coincidence. If any of those claims were genuine, they wouldn't be abandoned so quickly. You don't walk away from a real issue the moment paperwork is done. This interaction was never about resolving an offence, it was about identifying him. Once they had his details, there was nothing left to pursue because there was nothing else to begin with. All the legal language used earlier wasn't a process, it was a tactic.
I speak to people in future.
But I didn't speak to anybody in any. She's a liar. I never told her to pee off. She's an absolute liar. I will be making a complaint. Okay. I will be suing. Thank you very much. What's your details?
6468.
From the station?
Yep.
Your details?
290.
From the station?
Yep.
And her details?
She'll find those out for you. I believe her name's Sergeant Wiltshire, or Wiltshire, my apologies.
Sergeant Wiltshire?
Yep.
And her numbers?
I don't know them.
Well, I need her numbers.
I don't know them.
We'll have to radio through then.
I don't know them.
She's the one that made the complaint. I need to make a complaint about the lying sergeant.
Just ask to speak to Sergeant Wiltshire. She works on Team 4 Patrol South at Elland Road. That's all you'll need.
Well, can't you just radio through and ask for her details?
No, because she's not actually on duty at the moment because she was in, as you said, she was in a civilian car in a civilian clothing, so she's...
You could ring the control room and ask what her call number is.
I can't do that at the moment because I'm too busy, but you've got all the details.
But you weren't too busy to come and stop to talk to me?
Thank you very much.
Yeah? See you later, sausages.
I prefer bacon.
He says it's going to court because the entire encounter was based on claims that never actually happened. A sergeant alleges he swore when he didn't, and other officers repeat it without checking the footage. Arrest threats are then used to force him to give his details, and once they get them, everything disappears. That's not a simple disagreement, it points to misuse of power. When officers rely on a claim instead of evidence, court becomes the only place left to resolve it. When Now Yorkshire asks for officer identification numbers, the response isn't a clear refusal, it's dismissal. Suddenly, they're too busy to provide basic details that allow accountability. Yet earlier, they had plenty of time to stop him, question him, threaten arrest, and push for his personal information. That contrast matters. Officers were quick and assertive when they wanted information, but unavailable when accountability was requested in return. Footage that could have resolved the situation was ignored, and identification that could support a complaint was treated as optional. The pattern is clear: quick escalation, reliance on threats, shifting legal claims, and pressure until compliance is achieved. Then, once they get what they want, they disengage. No action, no offence pursued, no follow-up. If this had been about a real issue, like public order or terrorism, it wouldn't have ended the moment they got his details. If you found this breakdown useful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and keep this kind of accountability in the spotlight.